Hey everyone, welcome to Cinema Safari. Today we are talking about Christopher Nolan's latest movie, The Odyssey. So The Odyssey is Christopher Nolan's latest movie, the adaptation of the popular storybook. Pretty much everyone knows it. Everyone reads it in school at some point. Basically everyone. Great movie, a lot to talk about. Very excited. Probably one of the biggest movies of the year, at least to this point, if not for the whole year. I feel like so far it's definitely probably my favorite movie of the year. After watching it, so a lot to talk about, very excited, so stick around for The Odyssey. So The Odyssey is Christopher Nolan's latest movie, his best reviewed movie, beating out The Dark Knight from 2008, so almost 20 years ago. And he's made a lot of films since then, a lot of great films, and this is definitely one of, if not, in my opinion, maybe his best film. Out of so many great films from his library, so to speak, or filmography, whatever you want to call it. So in the film, we see Matt Damon as Odysseus, Tom Holland, his son, Anne Hathaway, John Bernthal, Ben Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, and just so many others. Great cast. Elliot Page as well. Great cast. Great, everything about the film was just amazing. But before we get into that, I do want to sidebar and say that as a big fan, much awaited, the Avengers Doomsday trailer was released earlier this week to the public. Finally, everyone in the world's been waiting for it. Not really going to talk about that, but very excited for that. The trailer, in my opinion, did not disappoint. A lot happening in the trailer, a lot of Easter eggs as well about things that can happen in the film, and it definitely connects to the 4 mini teasers we got back in December, and excited for that. I'm not really going to talk about that much, I just wanted to put that out there. So yeah, back to The Odyssey now. So The Odyssey, like I said, amazing film. Both the performances, it had such a great cast, and Christopher Nolan, he's known for having amazing casts. The Dark Knight, or the Batman trilogy. Throughout the trilogy, you have obviously Christian Bale, who that was Batman Begins. I feel like was probably his breakout role. But since then, he's become one of the most versatile actors out there. Michael Caine, obviously, Morgan Freeman, Anne Hathaway for The Dark Knight Rises, Tom Hardy, and Inception. That was Christopher Nolan. You have Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon now with Odyssey. You have Tenet. Just so many films, and huge obviously Oppenheimer as well, can't forget that. But just so many films where he just has amazing cast in all the films. But this one in particular, and it was funny because I think for one of the last trailers or spots that was released a week or two before the film premiered, started getting backlash for a lot of casting choices, which I thought was interesting, and that trailer became one of the most disliked trailers in ratio to like the likes versus dislikes in history, which was rude. But yeah, it was interesting because up until that point, at least I didn't hear anything about the like casting and like controversies surrounding that from like the fan base. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and obviously like there's arguments on both sides. Yes, it's the Odyssey, and it's like Roman, Greek, whatever. So you know, get actors that are authentic to that. But at the same time, the other side of the argument that I saw some people make was it's the Odyssey. Like, it's not necessarily meant to portray a specific thing. I'm not going to go too much in detail on that because I don't know too much like in the history part of it. But I'm just going off based of what I saw some people say. But yeah, I mean that I didn't really think about it. It didn't really affect anything for me. I thought everyone was great. Matt Damon, a lot of people, or at least some people, were like, was he the best choice to play Odysseus? After watching it, he did amazing. He really did a lot of great work with the role, and like some people I talked to like beforehand were saying like, that's it, like the Bourne movies is more like that type of movie is more Matt Damon that people want to see, and then, but I thought he did really good. I thought I liked him in it. I thought he was a good Odysseus. How he portrayed the character in the film. And there were some other historical inaccuracies that people pointed out, like the armor that they wore, the ships that they sailed in weren't authentic to the time, to the culture that they're representing. And I can't speak too much to that because I don't know too much about like the history behind that in real life. So I can't really talk too much to that point that people made, but I thought the armor looked fine. I thought the boats were cool, and it, like the casting controversies that some people made, it didn't in any way affect the film for me. So going to like the positives for the film, obviously, like I said, strong performances by the entire cast, a very, very like big and strong cast. Visually, the film looked great. The horse was cool. A lot of the fight sequences were really well choreographed, really well done. For it being the Odyssey, it's one of the most probably universally like at least one of the most well-known stories. So, there's a lot of pressure in making it right, and I think that there was so much focus to detail as well. Like when they were in the horse specifically, and I remember seeing this in one of like the earlier trailers, when they were stabbing like a sword into the horse, when they first found it, I guess see like if anything was in it. And then, like they stabbed someone, and before the sword came out, they wiped it off, covered the guy's face so he wouldn't scream, and wiped the sword to get the blood off, so when he took the sword out, it was clean. It's just detail like that. And then the guys at the bottom of the horse, like in the water, were breathing through, I think, straws to not like suffocate and drown, while the horse was upright in the water before it got pulled into the city. So all those little details that could have easily been missed were included, and that made the film feel so much more authentic, and it just brought it to the next level of authenticity, and it just made it so much more entertaining to watch as well. And the way they went about it was really good. Yeah, but I love the film. Seeing it, especially in IMAX. I didn't get the chance to see it in like 70 millimeter, unfortunately. And it's still early. It's probably going to be in theaters for a while, so I'll probably get the chance to at some point, hopefully. But yeah, I love the film. I don't have anything bad to say about it, honestly. There was, and for being like I don't know the exact runtime of the film, but being like around like a little less than 3 hour film, or 2.5 hours, whatever it is, it definitely didn't, at least to me, it didn't feel like it went, the pacing was good, it didn't feel too long. And it went by, like, it felt like it went by pretty fast, honestly. So that was good as well. Like, the writing was good, the performances were good, all around just nothing, I don't have anything bad to say about this film. And I think, like, the episode I did at the beginning of the year, where I, talked about all the films I was looking forward to this year, I forgot to even talk about the Odyssey. It totally slipped my mind. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite film of the year so far. Obviously, we have, the second half of the year still, with a lot more big films to come in the year. We have Spider-Man in a couple weeks, and then some more films, maybe not like huge blockbusters between Spider-Man and like November, December, when like Doomsday comes out. But there are some big films like, Hunger Games, I think that's in September, the re-release of Endgame, or Endgame Encore, I think they're calling it, in September, I think like towards the end of September. So definitely a lot to look forward to that, a lot of big things coming out that I am very excited for as well. But yeah, the Odyssey definitely, to this point, is definitely probably my favorite film of the year. And also, like, if you relate it to, like, Top Gun Maverick, not like story-wise necessarily or like anything like that, just the fact that Top Gun Maverick, to me as well, was like pretty much as close to perfect film as you can get in terms of like how they went about like opening and closing the film, how like the last scene of the film, how they ended it, I thought was really good for Maverick, and like this film as well, I thought the way they went about it, how they interconnected everything, made it a strong film as well. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the Odyssey. Just all good things about it. I don't have anything bad to say about it. And definitely Christopher Nolan, I think his best film that he's made. Out of so many amazing films that he's done. So yeah. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the film, if you enjoyed it or not. And yeah. So our next episode will be Spider-Man Brand New Day in a couple weeks. Excited for that, and see how that's the last film before Doomsday comes out in December. Excited to see how it might kind of lead in potentially to Doomsday. Because Tom Holland still hasn't been confirmed for Doomsday, so it'll be interesting to see if this connects in any way. Especially being the last film before Doomsday comes out. And also, he did say that recently that the ending is kind of like a twist ending. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any connections, and if so, what they are. So excited for that. Going to be another big episode, big movie, and a good way to, like, I guess not close out the summer, we still have August, but probably the last, like, big movie until November, December. So, excited to talk about that. As for always, thank you for watching, thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.